Adam, a point apiece, but having been in the lead, I guess you'll be disappointed.
Yeah, I think you're always frustrated not to win when you go ahead. But it was a tough game, and there wasn't that many kind of clear-cut chances. To be honest, we came into the game with a plan to be tactically quite disciplined today, because I think they're, in my opinion, one of the best footballing teams in this league. And I think because the Blyth Spartans, no disrespect to them at all, but I think if they were a Darlington, for example, a bigger club, shall we say, in this league, I think they'd probably get a lot more plaudits than maybe they do. But they play really well. They're very good in possession of the ball. They use the midfield plays incredibly well, technically very good, and they just try to carve through the middle of the pitch. And it was so important for us today that we were tactically very disciplined, and I thought the players did that incredibly well, nullified them to very, very few chances whatsoever, really, maybe a few things from distance. And that's probably what makes it so frustrating, conceding the goal we did, because it's a brilliant ball. I think it's Davidix, he puts it on a sixpence, he's a good player, and we've just switched off momentarily, and that's what happens in this league. You switch off, you get punished. So frustrating not to get all three, but I think off the back of losing at South Shields and coming into a couple of home games with maybe kind of what's gone on before we came in here, I think we probably would have been happy with the 4 points. Obviously you want to be greedy and get all 6, but if you can't win a game, don't lose, and it's certainly a week for us to now build on.
It was evident that you looked to be solid to start with, wasn't it? At the back, and then play it out and try and not frustrate, but allow them to come at you and then nullify.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be so organised in this league, and I do think that it's something I've always managed to instill in my teams in the past, is being organised and disciplined and hard to beat, difficult to score against. I'd love us to keep a clean sheet soon, because it is frustrating me now, conceding goals, but it's certainly not for a lack of effort and trying. I thought the lads today showed they executed exactly what I asked them to do, and I think as a manager, when the players do that, you've got to be satisfied to a degree. I still felt that maybe they edged possession, but we had the best opportunities in the game, and for us to not get all 3, it is a little bit disappointing. But we've got to take the positives out of it, like we've done in all of our previous games, and I think it's certainly a week for us to build on going into next week, and then obviously 2 very important games against Peterborough and Russia.
Good hit from Ben, terrific work from George.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he's managed to wriggle past about 3 or 4 of them, to be honest. Just brilliant play, and then for such a young lad to have that composure to just pick out Ben, and I'm just really pleased for Ben, because I think it's fair to say his confidence has been down. He's been quite critical of himself, because he's obviously had some really good chances probably in every game since Sam and I have been here, and just things haven't quite gone for him. But he's got so much ability, and quality's permanent. So I'm pretty confident now that he's kind of got that monkey off his back, so to speak, that he'll kick on, and that will only benefit us going forward. He works hard for the team. He's always at the top of the sprints chart. He's one of them players who sometimes glides around the pitch, and maybe people think, is he putting it in as much as some of the others? But he's pretty much every game he's at the top of the sprint. He's making runs beyond and behind, and looking to get in on the break, and that's why he's had so many opportunities in the games since we've been here. And I actually had a go at him at half time, because we had a free kick in the first half, and Cliffy took it. She should have took it. Said if you'd been scoring every week, you'd have took it. There's no chance you'd let Cliffy have it. And so I was pleased that he scored. And yeah, as I say, I think if he can just, hopefully that'll set him off now, and that'll only benefit us as a team.
I mean, forward partnerships are ideal as well. Can you see one developing with Ben and Cebulski?
Hopefully, yeah. Bart, he's quite unwell there second half. He was struggling, felt sick, but he kept getting through it, and that's what you have to do. You've got to just find a way of getting through it sometimes. But I thought some of his play today was again outstanding. He's he's doing very, very well. There's still a lot for him to learn, and he'll keep on getting better, as I said after the game on Tuesday. But one thing you can't question with either of them two is the work rate. And if they keep on applying themselves properly, then hopefully they'll keep on improving and striking up that relationship.
The move to get George in, he's been a valuable addition, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. But obviously I've spoke about my previous relationship with Fleetwood. And they've produced a hell of a lot of good young players in the last 2 or 3 years, and when you watch him play, it's hard to think that he's just turned 18 because he plays with such maturity. And probably the greatest thing I've noticed about him is that there's maybe been a couple of times in previous games where maybe he's made not the best decision, but he then corrects it in the next game. He wants to learn, he wants to get better, and he doesn't generally make the same kind of bad decision twice. Just really pleased for him. And I think you probably need to mention Cammy as well in there, because I think the pair of them have been absolutely outstanding. The amount of energy and legs that they give us in the middle of the pitch is superb, and the pair of them are striking up a decent little partnership now, and hopefully that'll keep going.
When other players see the drive that they've got, that hopefully will then feed through to them.
Yeah, but I can't question the effort and the commitment of any of the players. I think every game since we've come in, they've put it in, and I think as a manager that is the bare minimum you expect. Physically, we still have to get better, and we know that. But if the commitment and the effort's there, then that physical conditioning will only keep on improving, and the more it does, we probably win games like that today. But I think from the outset, I've said that will take us a little bit of time. So we just keep working hard every day to just try and get marginally better, and I think we are getting better. Day by day, game by game. There's different ways you've got to win games of football, and we're probably not at a point yet as a group where we can maybe play how Blyth played today. They've obviously had quite a long time with the manager and together as a group, and it takes time to work in those patterns and get that familiarity on the pitch. So you've got to then sometimes be a bit pragmatic as a manager and recognise the strengths and qualities of the opposition and find a way to kind of combat that whilst posing a threat yourselves. And I thought we did that very, very well today.
It's 4 points from 6, and it's now building an unbeaten run, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's important, because we've got to create a mentality where losing is not a habit. That does take time, but it all comes from the training ground, and that's the work that Sam, myself do. The players, they've got to be competitive. They've got to want to win. Even if it's a raffle, they've got to want to win it, because it does over time transmit onto the pitch. And if you can't win a game, don't lose it. And we want to get to a point in the stage where we're consistently winning games of football, and I'm confident that we will achieve that over time.
Obviously, one of the creative sparks, Josh Barrett, is now missing for a while. That's a big blow.
It is a big blow, yeah. Just complete freak and innocuous action in training. Just rolled his foot, and there was nobody anywhere near him. Just rolled his foot, doing a little bit of shake yesterday, and turns out that he's got a slight fracture in his second metatarsal, so he's going to be in the boot for probably 4 weeks. So we're probably looking at, I'd say, start of December before we see him back on the pitch, which is a blow. But what it does do is it presents an opportunity to somebody else. And I thought Smudge came in today. Obviously came on Tuesday, took his goal very, very well, and I thought he worked incredibly hard. Tired, obviously, just before we brought him off, but he had a week where he didn't train at all. He was really not well, lost weight, didn't eat. So he's another one we're trying to build his fitness up. But it gives him an opportunity, and you've obviously got likes of Ishii, you've got young Billy, and hopefully Jordan to be back soon. So we'll be all right. But I think anybody losing Josh Barrett, it's a blow. But we're not going to make an excuse or a thing of it. We can still win games without him. So we've got to crack on.
wouldn't be the situation where with Josh you might want another short-term loan, or
potentially, yeah, potentially. We're always looking, but it's probably getting boring now. I keep saying it's the hardest part of the job, and I'm not. It's generally never been my style to just jump into bringing bodies in here and there, because if you get the wrong ones and it don't work, you're stuck with them, and that don't help us or the loan club or the players. So we'll be patient and we'll take our time, but I think we probably do need to look for something else now at that top end of the pitch. We won't just rush in and take the first thing that comes up. We'll be patient and make sure we get the right ones.
I know you might say Fleetwood have the call on this, but would George? That's a 1 month loan, I believe, isn't it?
It was initially, yeah, but it was always with a view to it being longer. So we've already had conversations about extending that till at least February. It's just a case of signing the paperwork off, which I'm sure we'll get done Monday, Tuesday.
They've done you well, from Fleetwood. You said you'd had business with him before, but he plays like a 20-year-old with an 18-year-old birth certificate.
Yeah, he does. Fleetwood have done well for me, but I think I've done well for them, because they've got some, a couple of young players there who've gone in and they've moved on and they're playing in the league now, and they've got a couple who I've had on loan at previous clubs who are now, featuring regularly in the first team. So it's a good relationship both ways. I think they know what they'll get from myself and Sam, and the way we work with the players and the demands that we put on them, and we try and help the development. And I think as a manager, too many managers are probably afraid to put young players in. For me, I'm not bothered. If they're good enough, I'll throw them in. I don't care how old they are. If their attitude's right and they've got the ability, then age is just a number. So they know that we'll put that trust in them if we feel that they're ready, and George is more than ready, and it'll do his development so much good being here. So yeah, it's good. Be a decent marriage, wouldn't it, me and Fleetwood?
It'll be all right, I hope you're on a deal there.
I wish I was.
I hope George, he's only just old enough to get whatever booze comes his way as man of the match. I've just got to see if he gets it.
No, well, you can put that on my desk.
And here's your slice of pizza.
You touched on Ben Stevens earlier. Obviously, he's had a lack of confidence. What have you and Sam done to try and sort of pick him up and help him with that?
Keep playing him. He's not done a great deal wrong, to be honest. In previous games, he always works hard. He's always top of the running, sprinting data, as I said before, and he's had chances. And when you've got as much ability as Ben has, it's only a matter of time before one goes, on the right side of the post. So I think, as a manager, all you can do is just keep on, trying to improve his confidence. Keep telling him that he's a good player, and that if he keeps on making runs and getting in the box and landing on second balls, that it will turn for him. And I'm just really pleased for him that he's managed to obviously do that today. And I think now, the quality that he's got, I think now he'll go on a little run scoring a few.
I know you don't want to make a meal too much of the Josh Barrett injury, but we were just starting to see glimpses last few games of we know what he can do, and he was just coming back to that form again, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, and it's obviously frustrating for all of us, but these things happen sometimes, and you can't be too down about it. I think what JB's got to do is he's or rather I should say, since we came in here, his attitude has been spot on. He's worked so hard, certainly a lot harder in games than the ones I watched prior to us coming in, and I think everybody can see that. He's got a smile on his face, he's enjoying his football, and I do think that we were starting to see more from him, because he's one of the most talented players in this league, without a shadow of a doubt. So it's disappointing for him and for us, but he's got to use this little spell now where he's out to make sure he comes back fitter and stronger, and we'll give him a programme and work hard with him in the gym so he can do what he can do everything he needs to do to make sure that when he comes back he can hopefully have the impact on games that he had away at Darlington.
And I know you've you probably haven't picked up quite as many points. You perhaps would have liked another 3 or 4 points, but you've made big strides, haven't you, in the last few weeks?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think performances are getting better. I think fitness levels are improving game by game. And this was always going to be a testing week for us. Obviously, first one since Sam and I came here, where it was Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. And I think, we looked a little bit jaded there in that last 10 minutes or so. But, the lads kept pushing to try and find a winner, and we were unlucky. I think Billy had a free header and didn't probably just get quite enough on it. It was straight at the keeper. Maybe should have done better with a free kick at the end where we put it into the wall. But if the attitude and the effort's there, and the lads are taking on board the messages we're giving them, we will keep on getting better. And I said to the players after the South Shields game, that in the short term, results might just be a little bit up and down and a little bit of lack of consistency, but we will get to a point where we are winning and not losing. And hopefully that'll happen sooner rather than later. Obviously, from getting, I think what's that now, 7 points in our last 4 games. It's not a bad return. I think if you're getting 2 points a game, you're generally there or thereabouts. So we're not too far behind that in the last 4. So we've just got to make sure that we have a good week now and get ready for 2 big away games. And if we can go there and get a similar return of points to what we've had this week, then hopefully things will look a bit better in 10 days' time.